Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the Top of the Pops performances that were beyond bizarre.
Now there comes a point in every good Top of the Pops when your dad in the corner goes, "What the hell is this?" Well, just tell him they're the Wild Hearts and they're great!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 20, Telex, Rock Around the Clock. Talk about low energy, a truly bizarre rendition of Bill Haley and the Comets classic. This electronic piece was brought to us by the Belgian trio of Telex. Ignoring the fact that we're supposed to believe he's singing like that without a microphone, this is a true spectacle of WTF. They're not exactly rockin' as the lyrics would imply, and instead we're witness to a bloke with a rolled up newspaper staring down the lens. The whole time we're treated to some ill-fitting special effects and transitions, and honestly, we love what a mess it is. Number 19, Limp Biscuit, Take a Look Around.
All the teaching in the world today, all the little girls coming up the world today.
When nu metal was taking over the world, Limp Bizkit were at the forefront, and it's no wonder they brought a rambunctious crowd with them when they made a rare appearance on TOTP. The head-scratching nature of this one isn't on Fred Durst and the crew, despite Wes Borland's usual insane getup. No, that one's on the audience who, completely unprompted, jump onto the stage and start shoving the band around. Fred handled it pretty well with a hilariously blunt "Get off the stage!" Other than that, the technical crew at the BBC studio did a piss-poor job of the echoing effect in the song, and it often overlaps too soon, so Fred's just talking over himself.
Does anybody really know
It's a total cluster, but it's still a blast. Number 18, Eels, Novocaine for the Soul.
Life is hard, and so am I. You better give me something so I don't die.
Having to mime must have really wound these guys up, because they simply weren't willing to make it look convincing. You can tell something is up instantly when you look at the instruments the band brought onto the stage to perform. That's right, they're toys. While lead vocalist Mark Oliver Everett unenthusiastically lip-syncs the words to Novocaine for the Soul, the others are just taking the mick. Eventually, they give up altogether and start destroying the toys on stage. How we're supposed to believe the music is still playing with no instruments, we don't know. Number 17, Melina Lavender.
I was walking in the park.
There's a few supposed explanations for why this went down the way it did, but the end result is simply odd. For the song, vocalist Fish comes onto the stage armed with a giant notepad. As he lip-syncs the words, the notepad displays the lyrics of the song. One of the main stories behind this choice was that Fish had lost his voice beforehand, and with that in mind, he opted to do this instead of singing. Eventually, he gives up entirely and stops miming, instead pointing at the lyrics on the paper. It wasn't much of a performance, but people certainly remember it to this day. Number 16, Fisher Spooner, Emerge.
Hi. Hyper.
This is definitely one that would have made older TOTP viewers go, what the bloody hell is going on? Emerge was performed with a sort of fashion show motif, and it certainly stands out from the rest of the performances on that episode.
You don't need to emerge from nothing.
The immediate thoughts in your head may be, what are they wearing? And yeah, it's pretty weird, but we kinda dig it.
All right, people, act like you're having the time of your lives!
But while the performance is bizarre enough, the true mic drop of insanity has to be what comes towards the end. In an instant, Spooner's outfit is torn off and he's left in just his skivvies. Number 15, Dexys Midnight Runners. Jackie Wilson said, yeah, we've talked about this one to death, but we know you wouldn't let us get away with this list without talking about this infamous gaffe. We're not sure if it was a miscommunication backstage or a joke by the band themselves, but this song was accompanied by a bizarre image. While the song is called Jackie Wilson, the graphic behind them instead shows the famous Scottish dance player Jockey Wilson. How on earth did this happen? We may never know. Number 14, Lieutenant Pigeon, Moldy Old Dough. An often fondly remembered track is this one by experimental gimmick group Lieutenant Pigeon. The wacky close-up on a plastic pigeon is a dead giveaway of the craziness to come. The band are wearing some ridiculous outfits, but we definitely agree that they match the energy of this performance. Now, there's not many lines in this song, but the ones there are just straight up confusing. Moldy Old Dough and Dirty Old Man. Hilariously, when asked what the lyrics of this song meant, Nigel Fletcher gave a very enlightening response of, no idea. Sure, we'll take it. Number 13, All About Eve, Martha's Harbour. In this legendarily disastrous moment, the band did not realize that their track, Martha's Harbour, was already playing. As a result, they just sort of sat there in silence for a while.
Crashing at the bow, I am a galley slave, my love.
It was only when a stagehand let them know the track was already playing that they tried to mime it. But it was too little too late, and the visibly flustered group couldn't manage it.
I've been running round, so sad for a sailor.
As a result of the blunder, they would be invited back onto the show the next week, this time performing live rather than lip-syncing.
I sit by the harbor, the sea calls to me.
Number 12, Bad Manners, Can. You can point to pretty much any performance by this innovative ska group when it comes to WTF moments, but the one that comes to mind for us has to be Can. Group frontman Buster Bloodvessel always had a choice wardrobe, and he certainly didn't disappoint when he burst onto the scene of this appearance wearing a bright yellow dress. From kicking his legs about, doing the can, and even throwing in some cartwheels, Buster and company had the audience at home picking their jaws off the floor. The insane energy of this infernal gallop rendition thoroughly entertained and had plenty of people talking about the group afterwards. Number 11, Oasis, Roll With It.
You gotta roll with it, you gotta take it time.
The Gallagher brothers made headlines when they appeared on the show back in 1995. This was at the height of the Britpop era, and the lads tore it up, bringing their signature Manchester charm, though not in the way you'd expect.
You wanna be here, you be if you're coming with me.
They didn't have the luxury of singing live that week, and in protest against having to lip-sync, the brothers did the unthinkable. They switched their roles around, with Noel taking the microphone instead of Liam. While the production team didn't realize what was happening, viewers at home were in stitches.
Number 10, Armond Van Helden, Coochie.
When I call your celly late at night, I want that coochie and I'll do it right.
Oftentimes, songs had to be censored before they made it onto BBC's landmark music TV programme. And that's what leads us to wonder how the hell a song called Coochie managed to make it on our screens. Nothing can make you unsee the sight of a bizarre buff blue man singing about his burning desire to school with a lady on the top of the pop stage.
When I call your celly late at night, I want that coochie and I'll do it right.
Saying coochie, a word meaning female genitalia, on evening telly was bad enough, but some viewers misheard this line as, and I'll make it squirt.
When I call your house after work, I want that coochie and I'll make it squirt.
Which was a bit much. The actual lyrics are, in fact, and I'll make this work.
Number 9, Status Quo.
Margarita time.
Captive my heart, captive my memory.
At first glance, this is a completely normal performance by the iconic British rock band. They'd appeared on the show several times throughout its run, and most of their performances were fairly tame. However, the weirdness hit towards the end of their rendition of Margarita Time, where it became clear that maybe they'd had a couple margaritas before getting on stage.
Let's have a drink. It's margarita time.
Guitarist Rick Parfitt leaps towards drummer Pete Kircher, and they end up falling off the platform.
Number 8, Robbie Williams, rock DJ and Millennium. Robbie Williams defined British pop music in the late 90s and early 2000s, so it's no wonder he made a few TOTP appearances along the way. Two stand out as particularly bizarre. The first being when he turned up to sing Millennium in a dress, proving Harry Styles' recent antics aren't that groundbreaking. Strangely enough though, the dress was pretty see-through, exposing Robbie's bizarre granny panty-like undergarments. The second strange appearance was when he decided that clothes weren't necessary at all, and similar to him undressing in his music video for Rock DJ, he decided to pull his trousers off mid-song. Only problem is, he kind of realized he couldn't get his pants over his shoes midway, so he was left dancing with them around his ankles the whole time. Number 7, REM, Orange Crush.
Got my spine, I've got my orange crush.
It's about time we mentioned miming, right? While many performers simply weren't happy with having to do it, but them's the rules. So, in order to capitulate to the show's will, but still get in a little weirdness, Michael Stipe said to hell with a microphone and instead used a megaphone.
Had my fun, now it's time to serve your conscience overseas.
Needless Needless to say, singing through a megaphone would not sound like this. Morrissey pulled a similar stunt when performing This Charming Man by singing into some flowers. But for our money, this performance of Orange Crush is just that much weirder.
Got my spine, I've got my orange crush.
Number 6, Sparks. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. For the uninitiated, the legendary Ron Mills' appearance on the show may have haunted their dreams.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Tell me who's gonna leave.
As the band performed their certified banger, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, Ron gives side eyes to the camera that look straight into your soul. The man doesn't even blink as he hits the keyboard in the stiffest way imaginable. He likely terrified children across the country, and we respect him for that.
Then please stop me. You know that this town is big enough, not big enough for both of us.
Number 5, Trio, Da Da Da.
What you do and what you don't, what you will and what you won't,
One of the main reasons performers agreed to appear on TOTP was to gain even more exposure for their bands. That means you have to make a big impression, and some bands did indeed fall to attention-grabbing tactics. But what happens when you got too many ideas and can't decide which one to land on? Just do them all, we guess.
Da da da. Da da da.
Trio's Da 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 featured people sitting around them with crude drawings covering their faces, a parasol over the drummer, and most disturbing of all, a man in a strange mask doing what some may describe as dancing.
After all is said and done, it was right for you to run.
Number 4, Rod Stewart In The Faces, Maggie May.
Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore.
It's no secret that a lot of bands did a bit of drinking before their performances on the show. Perhaps one of the most evident instances of that was when Rod and the gang performed in 1971. The first sign was Rod swinging around the microphone stand like a bloody weapon, but when the guitarists began missing their solo cues, it was clearly a lost cause. They decided to say screw it and just had the time of their lives on stage, even playing footy at one point. Number 3, The Orb, Blue Room. Electronic music and Top of the Pops don't always go hand in hand. After all, how are you supposed to perform something like Orbital's Chime live? Well, by standing on stage, hitting a key every now and then, and pretty much nothing else. The Orb decided to forego that route, and instead didn't even pretend to perform the song. They just played chess on stage for 3 minutes instead. The original song was, of course, 39 minutes and 57 seconds long, but Top of the Pops unsurprisingly only gave them 3. Still a banger though. Number 2, Navana, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends as fun is to defend.
Top of the Pops' strict rules had wound people up a lot over the years, and sometimes we're lucky enough to see the performers bite back. In this now legendary performance, Kurt Cobain and the gang decided to make some changes to their hit song.
I feel stupid and contagious, we are now entertainers.
Kurt, of course, decided to put on a bizarre voice that many suggest is an imitation of Morrissey. On top of other piss-taking antics, they replaced some of the lyrics with much cruder ones. Needless to say, they never got invited back again. Number 1, The Time Lords, Doctor in the TARDIS. Despite taking the tune from the now disgraced musician / offender Gary Glitter, the Time Lords were able to make Doctor in the TARDIS their own. But this live performance on Top of the Pops is just disturbing all around. In what feels like the worst kind of fever dream, the band are up on stage wearing attires that look eerily reminiscent of KKK robes. It then becomes evident the lyrics are different from the ones we're used to, with the band singing rock and roll instead of Doctor Who. That was a sign of the bad things to come. Gary Glitter bursts into the studio asking the disturbing questions, "Do you love me?" and "Do you want to touch me?"
Do you love me?
In hindsight, this is deeply, deeply disturbing.
What's the most bizarre TOTP performance you've ever seen? Let us know in those comments below. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.